Hi everybody, I'm wearing a special hat today that says "You Can't Stop Us." It is based off my hype song that I wrote 2 weeks ago. Hot dog, it's been 2 weeks. Well, of course, obviously, just like how it's a parody of John Cena's "You Can't See Me, You Can't Stop Us." And no, you cannot stop the Highland Horns. We'll get more to them and picks later on today. First things first, player stats. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, that means Ricky Rubio with 13.7 points per game, 42.9 three-point field goal percentage, 6.8 assists per game. But my guy, Jared Allen, hats off to him. Hat is literally off to him right now. 14.9 points per game, 11.6 rebounds per game, and 1.2 steals per game. Enough to be the first player of the week for the Cavs in the Eastern Conference since LeBron in 2018. That is something. Colin Sexton, 16 points per game, 45% field goal percentage, and 74.4 free throw percentage. Darius Garland, 15.4 points per game, 7.8 assists per game, 1.2 steals per game. And Lauri Markkanen has 5.9 rebounds per game and 12.9 points per game. And Evan Mobley, 14.9 points per game and 8 rebounds per game. How well are the Cavs doing, you might ask? Well, the answer is we're doing really well, folks. How well? Enough to have won our last 4 games, and we're going to look at 3 of those games. First things first, Cavs against the Trailblazers at the Rock. We won that one 107-104. Jarrett, the player of the week. 24 points, 17 rebounds. Darius, 19 points, 10 assists. Evan, 11 points and rebounds. Damian Lillard, the star player for the Trailblazers, 26 points, 8 assists. Norman Powell had 23 points. We were leading starting in the second quarter, and we shot 52.7%, which is really good. Cavs against the Raptors. Cavs won again in a game for the ages. 102-101. Darius made the game-winning free throws with 4.8 left. And we were only leading for the last 5 seconds of the game. Otherwise, Toronto led the entire game, the entire thing. They led for 47 minutes and 55.2 seconds. And in the end, the Cavs won it. Speaking of Darius, he had 21 points and 8 assists. And OG for Toronto, 23 points. Fred VanVleet, 18 points for the Raptors. And our guy, the player of the week. That's right, we talking about Jared Allen, 16 points, 15 rebounds. And Jetty, can't forget about Jetty with 17 points. And then, of course, the Cavs against the Knicks. It was a Cleveland Cavaliers winner at the Madison Square Garden. But you know who really won that game? Our good pal, Ricky Rubio. Colin Sexton got hurt in this game, unfortunately, which is really frustrating to see. We'll see how long he'll be out for. But what I do know is that our pal Ricky Rubio had a career-high 37 points. And Evan Mobley had 26 points and 9 rebounds. Jared had 18 points and 17 rebounds. I love Jared Allen. Did I ever tell you that? Derrick Rose for them had 17 points to Julius Randle, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Anyways, Ricky Rubio, the first player in NBA history with 30-plus points, 10-plus assists, and 8-plus threes in a game off the bench. Ricky Rubio wasn't even starting. Colin Sexton got hurt. Well, it was Ricky Rubio. There's Ricky Rubio doing Ricky Rubio things. He's just that good at basketball. Number 3 for the Cavs. And watch this one in the corner for 3. You know it's good because the Cavs are good. Next, we're winning at the half, but we ended up running away with it. That was Dylan Lindor with that one. I want to see a Ricky Rubio 3 if we can see it. And it looks like that's not going to be a Ricky Rubio 3. That'll be a block by Julius Randle instead by Jared Allen. You know, I have Bally Sports Dish, actually, so I don't get Bally Sports. So I have a confession to make. I don't watch the Cavs. But what I do know is that Ricky Rubio had a monster game. There we go, a 3-pointer from Ricky Rubio. That's what I want to see. And, of course, tonight we play the Washington Wizards. Should be fun. Who wins that one, you might ask? Well, we shall see. What I'm trying to look at are the standings because Would you look at that? The Cavs are 5th in standings. Look at that. We won't have to worry about the play-in tournament. Nuh-uh. That is impressive stuff. You know, it's also some impressive stuff. The Washington Wizards, they're 7-3. We are 7-4. I think we are going to win tonight. Get that dub. Get it going. 5 in a row for the Cavs. Jared Allen, Ricky Rubio. Colin Sexton's a great basketball player, but Ricky Rubio's going to fill in that void that he leaves with that injury. NASCAR championship. But before that NASCAR championship, I would just like to say, when Colin Sexton comes back and Ricky Rubio and Darius Garland and Lauri Markkanen and Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, woo! That's a very talented basketball team. Kyle Larson won this race, by the way. Kyle Larson won. He is the NASCAR champion. He won 10 races, the first racer to do it since Jimmy Johnson in 2007. Of course, a great season for Kyle Larson. Won stage 1. Oh, no, he did not win stage 1. That was Martin Truex Jr., but he did win stage 2. Speaking of Martin Truex Jr. is 2nd place. Denny Hamlin 3rd, Chase Elliott 5th. What a comeback for Kyle Larson. Just an incredible story. Of course, for those that are unaware, last year he got suspended for things I'm not going to dig deep into. But yeah, he missed almost the entire season. And right when he thought his career was over, he came back, and he came back with one thing on his mind and one thing only, a big win. And Chase Elliott tried to be the first NASCAR driver since Jimmy Johnson to repeat, but Kyle Larson wasn't going to let him have it. Bubba and Corey LaJoie made contact just 7 laps into the race. LaJoie hit the wall 8 laps later. Quinn Huff lost a tire on lap 129. Anthony Alfredo lost a tire on lap 248. Caution for debris on lap 283. But, of course, the big one right here, Kyle Larson fending off everybody, able to win it by over half a second. It was a great race for Kyle Larson. And in front of a giant crowd in Phoenix, a happy crowd in Phoenix. Good for Kyle Larson. He wins it. He's had a phenomenal season. I don't think anyone else earned it more than him. And there is Kyle Larson, the happiest man in America at the time. Yes, he was indeed the happiest man in America during that moment on that Sunday in Phoenix, Arizona. Tommy's picks time. That's right, my picks. You know, my picks never fail. Division 1, Region 1. First things first, St. Ed's beat Berea Mid-Park 56-14. Medina crushed Cleveland Heights 45-12. St. Ignatius with a big upset over Stowe 42-12. And McKinley took down Jackson 62-28. And in Division 2, Benedictine beat Riverside 31-12. Nordonia beat Willoughby South 42-17. Archbishop Hoban beat Austintown Fitch 48-28. And Walsh Jesuit with an upset win over Hudson 23-14. Division 2, Region 6. What did I say? You can't stop us. And you couldn't stop us. Anthony Wayne was boom, 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 right off the gates with a big touchdown run 21 seconds into the ball game. But the Hornets were unfazed with a big win, 38-14. And Avon beat the tar out of Fremont Ross, 52-26. And Olmsted Falls with a surprising upset over Barberton. How about this? 41-7. Toledo Central Catholic beat Toledo St. John's Jesuit 54-0. Toledo Central Catholic will have to play Highland, and Avon will have to play Olmsted Falls. And then you have Division 2, Region 7, Big Walnut with a win over Winchester, 38-7. Green beat Hoover, 14-10. Massillon Washington with a nice win over Westerville South, 50-19. And Worcester continuing their upset, beating Dublin Scioto 20-10. How about those Worcester Generals? They're number 14, and the Generals are on their way to face off against, I believe it would be Green. How about that? Green Worcester. Who would have thunk it? Division 3, Region 9, Chardon with a crushing 63-7 win over Streetsboro. And Dover beats Aurora in a great game, 43-42. Kenston against Steubenville, 49-42. And Campfield beat Hubbard 21-7. And Division III Region 10 Holy Name beating Norton 28-0. West Holmes beating Tiffin Columbia 28-25. And Rocky River beating Buckeye 32-15. And Powell Franciscan with a good win over Mansfield Senior 13-10. Division IV Region 13, West Branch beat Poland Seminary 33-21. And Glenville beat VASJ. VASJ season now over 34-13. Well, I knew they'd have an early exit, but I didn't think it wouldn't be until the first round, actually, rather than the second round. Ursuline beat Salem 54-35. Perry beat Girard 42-22. Division V, Region 17, folks. Well, that is Kirtland doing Kirtland things with a 37-0 win. South Range beating Crestwood 49-7. Garway beating Southeast 48-7. And Garfield beating Belair 44-14. And then in Division V, Region 18, Otsego beat Eastwood 35-28. Elyria Catholic with a good win over Genoa Area 44-21. Elmwood beat Liberty Benton in a good game right there, 41-40. And Ottawa Glandorf absolutely destroyed Waynedale 53-0. And then college football. We talked about Ball State, Akron, Ohio, Miami, Ohio last weekend. Of course, Tom Arth is now gone. And where do you call it? Akron now. I'm going to have to get to college basketball picks soon now for Tommy's picks. Good Lord. But Kent State beat Northern Illinois 52-47, and Army beat Air Force 21-14. And Georgia with a walloping 43-6 win, a shellacking over the Mizzou Tigers. And Ohio State is able to survive against Nebraska 26-17. And North Carolina with a massive upset, high-scoring upset. That's what college football is all about. In front of their home turf, 58-55, and Kansas State beating Kansas, which is like being the Sisters of the Poor, 35-10. No offense to Kansas, but they have a good basketball program, of course. And Kansas State, of course, easily won that. Purdue showing some trickery with a reverse touchdown, part of their 40-29 upset over Michigan State. Notre Dame beat Navy 34-6. Texas A&M took down Auburn 20-3. Wisconsin beat Rutgers 52-3. Arkansas took down Mississippi State 31-28. And Alabama escapes with a 20-14 win at Bryant-Denny Stadium. 20-14, of course. Alabama's still trying to hang in there in the playoffs. And Tennessee with an upset over Kentucky. A big win there, as Kentucky will be going down. Oh boy, 45-42. And UTSA beat UTEP, that is right, 44-23. And the NFL, my picks absolutely suck, to say the least. The Colts beat the Jets, of course, 45-30. And the Falcons did choke again. What is up with the city of Atlanta? They're not choking anymore. They're winning. They had a big lead against the Saints. They blew it. The Saints took the lead. And then Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, gets the Falcons down the drive. And Young Hoku, big field goal. And how about those Atlanta Falcons? And the Denver Broncos beat the Cowboys. Not my lock of the week. Oh, boy. 30-16. Patriots beat the Panthers. Mac Jones winning that one. And the Ravens beating the Vikings in overtime. And the Browns took care of the Bungles. The Bengals are reverting to the Bungles again. You lose to the Jets. You get destroyed to the Browns. You're going to be the Bungles again. I'm sorry. That's how it works. We shut down Jamar Chase. And Baker Mayfield took, in the words of Michael Jordan, took it personally when he was seeing all the hate against him. Who needs Odell? Odell, no. We don't need him. Anyways, the Jaguars won! They beat a good playoff team, the Bills. Holy cow, 9-6. They beat the Bills. What world do we live in? Has the world gone insane? Buffalo lost to the Jaguars. The Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer. That team. That team that doesn't win. The Jaguars won. And it was a free Willy winner against the Texans, 17-9. And the Giant losers with an upset over the Raiders, 23-16. Speaking of more trouble, the Raiders have another pick who's going to be going away for a long time. Dear God, the Raiders in 2020 may have had one of, if not the worst draft classes in the history of the NFL draft, which dates back to the 1930s, I believe. 1936, the same year Geico was founded. Chargers beat the Eagles 27-24 at the Link. And the Chiefs beat the Packers 13-7. And Aaron Rodgers of the Packers, where Jordan Love's mom had to watch the game from all the way up at the top row. Now, if they can only put Patrick Mahomes' brother up there, as everyone was saying. Yes, that would be awesome. No, that wouldn't be awesome. All the people near him would hate it. So just put him away in a place where no one would have to deal with him. But the Chiefs almost lost to the Packers. And the Cardinals won 31-17. And the Titans with Adrian Peterson. How about Adrian Peterson? He's still going 28-16. And the referees won it for the Steelers 29-27 against a team that should really fire Matt Nagy, in my honest opinion. High school football, I got 75% of the games correct. College football, 12-4, 14 points. NFL, it went 5-9. 5 points. By far the worst week I've had. 83-53 with 91 points in the NFL. First things first, high school football playoffs with Tommy's picks. That's right. St. Ad's going to play McKinley. I'm picking St. Ad's. And Medina playing St. Ignatius. I'm picking Medina. And then Division II, Region 5, Benedictine playing Welsh Jesuit. My prediction, Benedictine to win. Ordonia against Oban. I don't know why I'm thinking Oban. And then Division II, Region 6, I get to go on a bus for 80 minutes. Wait, let me check. It's around 80 minutes, if I could pull up my Maps app. It's at Bellevue High School, for the good Lord's sake. My heavens. But we'll play Toledo Central Catholic. And in my opinion, it will be a great game at Bellevue, even though nobody will be there because, well, how will people get there? It is such a long drive from Highland High School to Bellevue High School. It's an hour 14 if you go the toll way. And if you don't want to take a toll, you go an hour 25. I don't know which route we're going to take, but I'm going to be driving home at midnight. Yay me! I get to March in very cold weather. What's the weather going to be Friday night? Low at 37, so I guess it's not that bad. But my goodness, it's going to be ridiculous to play all the way over there. It's the midway point between us and Toledo Central Catholic, but we're so far apart from each other that stadium, I fear, is going to be half empty come this Friday night. Nonetheless, Highland wins it 21-17. Avon against Olmsted Falls, picking Avon to win it. And Big Walnut against Madison, Washington. Upset alert. Picking Washington to win that one. At Green against Worcester, picking the Green Bulldogs. And then Division 3, Region 9, I beg your pardon. That's right, I beg your pardon. Not pardon, but rather Chardon. Against Canfield, Chardon wins. And Dover against Kenston, Dover wins that one. Padua Franciscan against Holy Name, picking Padua. And West Holmes against Rocky River wins. In Division 4, Region 13, West Branch versus Perry, picking West Branch. And Ursuline against Glenville, I'm picking Ursuline. Division 5, Region 17, my lock of the week. Kirtland beating Garfield. And South Range to beat Garaway as well. And Otsego going to play Ottawa Glandorf, picking Otsego. And Elyria Catholic against Elmwood, picking Elyria Catholic to win that one. But yeah, you can tell I'm beyond thrilled for a long drive. No, a long bus ride. I don't know if I'm going to be filming or not, but it is absolutely ridiculous. It makes me kind of sad. The longest ride in the history of the world. Anyways, Tommy's picks for college football edition. Now, these were the AP rankings up there, not the college football playoff rankings. As you can tell, number 7 is not Michigan, but rather Michigan State. Michigan's number 6. Northern Illinois against Ball State. Gonna pick Northern Illinois. Central Michigan against Kent State. Picking Kent State. Pitt playing North Carolina. Picking the Pitt Panthers. And Penn State against Michigan. It's at Beaver Stadium, so you never know. They might have that whiteout. But even so, I think Michigan's going to keep their playoff hopes alive for the time being and probably lose to Ohio State like they do every year. I'm not an Ohio State fan, but even I know that Michigan never beats Ohio State. Good Lord. Baylor against Oklahoma. Big game there. The Bears trying to bounce back. They're 13 in the college football playoff rankings, 12 in AP. I am picking the Baylor Bears to win that. Auburn against Mississippi. Auburn actually 17. Mississippi State nowhere to be found. I am picking the Auburn Tigers. Lock of the week, Houston's going to beat Temple. And Ohio State against Purdue. Big game at the shoe. Well, I'm picking the Bucks to win. Iowa against Minnesota at Kinnick. There's one rule when you play at Kinnick. You don't play at Kinnick because they will eat you alive in that pink locker room. Picking the Iowa Hawkeyes. Upset of the week, Florida State going to beat Miami and Texas A&M, who is ranked number, if I can find them anywhere, I don't think they're 11. They are 11 against Ole Miss, which is 15. The 12th man is not going to be there because Texas A&M on the road, but I still think they're going to win. Vandy playing Kentucky. Kentucky kicked out of that top 25 in college football. I'm still picking Kentucky to win because Vandy ain't good. Wake Forest against the who do you call them? Number 12 Wake Forest against number 16 NC State. Keep in mind, those are the AP poll rankings on your screen. I'm looking at the college football playoff rankings on my phone. Wake Forest wins. Number 8 Notre Dame against Virginia. That's an upset alert. Number 9 Notre Dame. That's an upset alert, and I'm kind of scared, but I think we can do it. We've dodged a lot of bullets this season. I think we can dodge another bullet this time. Get that win. Number 10, Oklahoma State against TCU. TCU having momentum off that big upset against Baylor, but I'm thinking Oklahoma State wins it. And number 3, Oregon playing Washington State. I'm picking Oregon. And, of course, college football playoffs look like this. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Oregon. And number 4, Ohio State. Cincinnati is number 5, and they are undefeated. I really think they are Rodney Dangerfield. I don't get no respect. No respect, I tell you. No respect at all. They won't allow me in the college football playoffs. And yes, no respect for the Cincinnati Bearcats, but I have a gut feeling that there might be an upset within the top 4, particularly within the Iron Bowl when Alabama plays Auburn or Michigan, Ohio State. There could be an upset there, and Cincinnati could make it to the playoffs. If Cincinnati doesn't make the playoffs, that would be a crying shame and just be absolutely ridiculous. I'm not a Cincinnati fan, but they're playoff worthy in my opinion. They're like a BCS buster years ago, except they're for real. NFL Free Willy against the Ravens Thursday night, lock of the week. Baltimore wins that. Patriots against the Browns. Browns are going to win it, even if we don't have Nick Chubb, who may be out due to COVID. Let's pray to the good Lord that he gets 2 consecutive negative tests in 24 hours. Pray to that good Lord because we're going to have to need it. Jets suck playing the Bills, but the Jets are going to win because the Bills lost to the Jaguars. And the Bills barely beat Free Willy. And the Jets beat the Bungles. And the Jets beat the Titans. The Jets can beat somewhat decent teams. I'm picking the Jets. My gut feeling is with New York. Washington football team against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Picking the Bucs to win that. Cowboys against the Falcons. I don't know why. That's going to be a close one, but I'm picking Atlanta. Tennessee against New Orleans. Speaking of good ones and close ones, I'm picking the Titans. Colts against Jacksonville. Going to pick the Colts. Steelers against the loser Lions. I know the Steelers got a lot of help from their good friends, the referees, on Monday night, but there should be no excuse to losing to the loser Lions. My pick, the Steelers. And the Lions will be 0-9, woe and 9, because they are woeful. Wow, I don't know how people live with themselves if they root for the Detroit Lions. They've only won one playoff game in the last 60 years. Their best running back and best player in the last 60 years decided to retire early because he realized, oh my goodness, Detroit is not good. Chargers against the Vikings, picking the Chargers. Cardinals, Panthers, picking the Cardinals. Broncos against Eagles, another tough one, picking the Broncos. A lot of tough ones this week. Packers against the Seahawks, picking the Green Bay Packers. Raiders against the Super Bowl hangover, otherwise known as the Kansas City Chiefs, picking the Raiders. 49ers against the Rams on Monday night. Rams looking to bounce back from a tough loss last week to the Titans. Anyways, it's hard to believe, but in 1 week and 1 day, the WCTV Clapper Awards. Right over there. I don't know if we'll see it, but regardless, yep, there it is. That's where it's going to be. Unfortunately, due to COVID things and the fact that most, if not all, elementary school kids are not vaccinated. Which reminds me, if you're a parent, get your kid vaccinated. If they're from the ages 5 to 11, sign them up. Give them the shot. It will help them. It really will. And get the booster, too. My mom got it, and listen, the vaccine will go down as time goes by, so boosters are going to be needed to get it up. Get that booster shot, because I definitely do not want to be in a mask ever again. I don't want to do what we have done for the past year or so, past year and a half. I definitely don't want to go back to those days. I want to go to where we are right now, where everything is basically back to normal. I don't want to go back, and booster shots will be your friend. And for the kids out there, give them the vaccine. That'll help them as well and help you as well. But anyways, that's why we won't be able to have WCTV Clapper Awards, unfortunately, all together. But don't worry, it should still be a fun night in a week and a day. And hopefully, we'll see some fun excitement. Till then, Tommy Maroon, goodbye.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.